day one to day sold, we show you everything at MustangMedic.
MustangMedic.com. We take the frustration out of restoration.
So you say it only has surface rust? Really? The 1972 Mach 1 Mustang Restoration Project. We're working on the 72 today. Nick got the brake line back on. We got the KYB shocks, and I know a couple of viewers out there are like, oh, I want to see you put them on. Well, here they go. They're shocks. I mean, I don't think it's going to be too complicated, but we'll find out. So I'll show you the shocks in a moment. Got them in the box over here, and we're going to put them into the 72 today. There it is, heavy-duty KYB shocks. I'll break them out of the box right now so you guys can see them. And there's the hardware, and there is the gas adjust KYB shocks. That's the rear shock, and there's the front shock. Front shock's going on. Alright, so remember guys, it's like a burger. There's the bun, the metal goes in the middle, and there's the bun right there, the other piece of rubber right here. So these two little pieces of rubber get sandwiched between the spring perch, which I'll show you in a moment. Then you put on the metal washer on the bottom, then the lock washer, and then the nut. So that's what we're going to do on the spring perch right now, and we're going to basically drop the shock down this spring from the center, and then there's two small holes right here, and they go right underneath here on the spring perch. So here we go. And here goes the shock going down into the center. Let me give you kind of a cool view. There's a cool view going straight down the new spring, the new perch, and all the other new parts on the 72. And then the shock goes down the center, like so, and fits. I've already put the rubber. Here, let me pull this back out again one more time. I already put the rubber on there. Put the rubber on the ends before you do it, and then center down the middle of the spring. And sit her down right there on the perch. So here we go, bolting it from the bottom. So I'm going to support Mustang. All right, here you go. All right, so there it is. The bottom bolt is on both sides. Rubber. There's that rubber disc I was talking about, and there's that KYB shock. So we're going to be putting in the bracket on the top shortly and getting that in position. And we might actually have to put tires on her to sit her down to get her to be able to bolt onto this on the disc, because we need to compress the shock. We'll probably just do it with a jack stand, put it underneath, and bring up the front end to complete the jack, because the jack actually holds the spring taut and in position when it's up in the air like it is. No weight on it. Here we go. The right shock is in, and I'm painting the final paint on the shock brackets for the top. They're going back on glossy black, and then that will complete the shocks on this. Nick's got the brake line back on, and we're about to attach the brake lines to the new calipers, and you got to use your brass on both sides to seal it.
You got the brass?
Get off my truck. All right, so here's the nut and the two brass washers. One brass washer goes on one side like so. And you put it through the piece right here. You put it through here, and then the brass goes on the other side, and then you tighten it on. Very important. If you do not put this brass on both sides of this line or this bolt that's got a hole in it, because it lets the brake fluid go through, it's going to leak like a son of a gun when you get it going. So putting those in now. Alright, so brake lines are now on and secure on the 72. Here's the other side. On. Alright. Moving, I've got the bottoms of the shocks on. When the shock tower bracket's dry, we're going to do the tops. Alright. So what we're doing now is we've got the nuts being tightened up. It's rubber. It lays on the spring perch, then it's rubber. Well, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's rubber, lays on the spring perch, rubber, washer, lock washer, nut. And then you basically tighten them up. You got to use a wrench on the on the outside, and you use a socket on the inside. You can get a socket wrench in there, but you can't get a socket in on the outside, so we use a wrench. And I'm tightening these down onto the spring perches. Now that the spring perches are tight, the shock's on, the spring's on, the spring goes on first, of course. The shock goes down through the hole, and it gets nice and snug. See that? What's ultimately going to happen is we're going to want to put the brackets back on with the rubber set up for the top of the shocks. We're going to put a floor jack underneath this lower control arm very carefully, and we're going to start to jack it up and bring this actual shock up so we can put on the bracket. So that's what's next step on the 72. Making good progress, and these high-end gas adjust KYBs are being installed. Only the best for you, Mr. Pizza Guy. All right, so we got the new rag joint. Obviously not new. We're going to clean this all up and make it pretty, and we're going to put it onto the 72. So new rag joint delivered by Mustang Village. Very rare part. They don't make them anymore, so you got to buy them used, clean them up, and fix them up. So that's what we're doing for the 72. So front shocks are connected down below, and as I showed you guys before, the brake lines are done on the 72. Shocks, springs, perches, everything's all put together, brake lines attached. So we're moving into the top part and putting on the brackets and securing the shocks and putting them back on the spring shields next on the 72.
This video series in part has been brought to you by Zpizza. I've eaten there, guys. Original logo, original recipes, the original Zpizza.
MustangMedic.com. We take the frustration out of
This car.
So you say it only has surface rust? Please look for the link in the description below for the next in our series. If it's not there, come back soon. MustangMedic.com. We take the frustration out of restoration.